So we're talking about signs. When I look at this problem, I see a -4 minus 8.24. And as we've seen so far this semester, we're just combining these guys. It's not multiplication yet. It's just addition and subtraction. I've got a -4, so it's like a loss of 4 and a loss of 8.24. So how do I do that when the signs are the same? I'm just going to add these guys, right? And I'm going to do what? What's my sign going to be for my final answer? I know that at the end my sign is going to be a negative. If you lose 4 and you lose 8.24, you're going to be losing an even larger number. So what I need to do is I need to add these guys up on the side. So here's my little thought bubble about all of this. Don't worry about the signs because you know you're just adding these. So you're adding 4 and 8.24. I got a problem here though. I see the decimal in the 8.24, but where's the decimal in the 4? It's understood to be right here. Do y'all agree? Yeah. You guys know this because if you were to deal with money and you're going to buy something, you give the cashier $20. It would show up on the cash register as 20.00. So it's understood to be right here. And this is the 1 spot. And we know where the decimal goes. It's after the 1 spot. So I've got 4 plus 8.24. So here's my 8.24. Remember that you have to line up the decimals. If you don't, you end up with an answer that looks stupid. Well, I thought we were always just supposed to move the numbers all the way so they line up on the right side, have them flush against the right side. Yeah, I'm going to do that. You're going to see how ridiculous that is, but that's just do the problem the right way first. So if I'm missing numbers here, it's always good to put in the zeros, because 4 is the same as 4.00, right? All right, so now what do I have? I'm just adding, so that's 4, 2, and 12. Does that make sense? This is about 4, no, not about, that just is 4, and this is about 8, right? So if you lose 4 and you lose 8, you've lost what? 12. So I get 12.24, so that makes sense. That lines up with everything that I see here. So my answer is a negative 12.24. Do y'all agree with that? All right, now do you want to see the bad way of doing things? All right, since no one said anything, you agree by, consent by silence, as they say. So here's very bad. Don't do this. Bad people will do this. Oh, so I could do 4 and then 8.24, because you always line them up on the right side just like that, right? So Yapa, you don't like that? Like I saw the pain in your face. Now, here's the problem. 4 is in, what place value is the 4? This 4. No. This is the 1s, right? This 4 right here is in what spot? Isn't that the hundredths? Remember tenths, hundredths? So how are you going to add 1s with hundredths? Are those guys like terms? Do they have common denominators? No. So doing it this way makes no sense. And what would you do anyway? Well, I'm going to get 8, and the 2, and the 8. Well, since there's no decimal here, I'm just going to, there it is. Is that even close to the answer? No. Bad. Okay? Don't do this. This is bad. You will be punished. There will be consequences. It'll hurt me more than it hurts you. Okay? All right, can we move on to do something even funner? Oh, that's right. Fun it is. I'm going to take 12.1 minus 4.923. So think of this as a positive number and a negative number, right? So when I combine these guys, will my final answer be positive or negative? Sure positive? The larger number is positive, so I know I will have a positive. Even though I don't have to write the sign, I'm going to put it there as a reminder to me that I have already thought through the process of this problem, and I know my answer will be positive. If you had to round this, what would you round 12.1 to be? You'd round 4.9 to be what? So 12 minus 5 should be about what? If your answer is too far off from 7, then you know you're wrong, right? Now, I'm going to go back to my nice pretty piece of paper here. Line paper almost makes me shudder. All right, so here we go. I need to do 12.1 minus 4.93, make sure that the decimal points line up correctly. We've talked about this before. So here's the 4.923, and I'm subtracting, right? When you are adding and subtracting, you want to make sure that you have enough zeros to fill in any holes that you have here. Because what's understood to be after the 1, even though we don't write it? Zeros forever and ever. If you don't write the zeros, you're going to be in trouble. Because bad students will just bring down the 3 and bring down the 2. But you see that doesn't make any sense when you have the zeros here. See, now you're trying to do 0 minus 3. That means you're going to have to borrow, right? And this is where some of us get really cheap about how we borrow, but I want to make sure you do this the right way. You can't borrow from this 0, so you've got to go all the way back here to borrow this guy. So you borrow to make this guy a 0, which makes this guy 10. Now you can borrow from the 10 to make this guy 9, and that makes this guy 10. That is the proper way for borrowing or regrouping or whatever you call it. Do it the right way. So now I can do 10 minus 3 and I get 7. 9 minus the 2 is 7. 0 minus 9, see, that doesn't work out well for me, does it? So we just have to come back over here, borrow from the 2 to make it a 1, which makes this guy a 10. So now 10 minus 9 is 1. Your decimal is still here, it didn't go anywhere. You could say that you need to borrow again, but let me show you how ridiculous this is. That's 11 minus 4. What's 11 minus 4? It's just 7. And you may say, but I need to borrow. Okay? And let's see how the borrowing works when you do that. You borrow from the 1 to make it what? 0, and you make this guy what? 11, huh? Just like I showed you, it was already 11 minus 4. Is this what I said, or is this close to my estimate that I had before? Rewind the YouTube video, you'll see that I said it was about 7. I come up with 7.177. That sounds fantastic. 7.177. Do y'all agree with that? Too easy? Yeah, that's too easy. Hey, math man, can we do another one of these? I'm just thinking that I might make a mistake somewhere. Sure, it's not a problem. So 5.273 minus 19.584. Before you start writing numbers down and before you start doing anything, think about what's going on here. This is a positive number. This is a negative number. So whenever you are trying to combine a positive and a negative, you know there must be subtraction. But what do you know about what the sign of your result will be? How do you know that the sign of your result will be negative? This guy has a larger absolute value than this one, so I know that whatever my answer is here at the end will be a negative. All right? So then I go to my little thought bubble. Remember that when you do subtraction, it's always the larger number minus the smaller number in terms of absolute value. Excuse me. So this is 19.584, and the other number is 5.273. So that's just a matter of subtracting this. So what's the difference between these two numbers? So it means we have a 1. Oh, this is nice and easy, right? 3. It's a lot easier when there's no regrouping that you have to do, right? So does this answer look appropriate? You have about 5 minus, this is about 20. So 5 minus 20 will get you about negative 15. I get 14.311. So I feel that this is a very appropriate answer. So negative 4.311. Questions about that?